Ho ho, we have a crazy Pokemon Unite Datamine to break down today because the beta has been datamined to give us patch notes. That doesn't happen, and we can see a lot of crazy changes coming to the game. Everyone's Unite move has been nerfed. Also, emblems getting some tuning and a couple of other changes. We have the early patch notes, and this is insane. So if you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, share with your friends, comment your thoughts down below. First thing we're going to be talking about are the emblem nerfs, because crit chance is getting gutted. Who would have thought that the emblem page of going 10 crit runes becoming the standard on any attacking Pokemon meant that it was over-centralizing and strong. So, now look at that, we're going from bronze having 0.6% chance, 0.3. So if you just go 10 bronze, that's 3% crit, then doubling to 6%. For a full page of golds, no one has that. So yeah, now like a couple of silvers sprinkled in, maybe one gold. Like a gold, like the new gold is the old bronze. So we're going to see some interesting stuff. Will full crit be viable? Maybe. Will crit tech, and then, like, because what happened was, it also kind of took away from some Razor Claw, where it's like, well, why dedicate an item that's only worth 2% crit, when I can run a better item for my character, like a Focus Band, and then patching that crit through emblems and some other stuff. Now it's like, oh, you might actually need that to get the 2% back that you're missing from all the emblem shenanigans going on. Also, attack and special attack getting very teeny tiny buffs for the people that have bronze and silver, since once again, even at this stage, no one has gold. It's not a pay-to-win feature. Even if you spent hundreds of dollars, you would not have been able to play enough games and get enough rolls and the daily limit of 30 to actually make this happen. So kind of future-proofing it a bit. I don't know what 3 extra special attack with a full page of 10 is going to do. Nothing, because Pokemon scaling is so low and insignificant in this game, but it's some pretty interesting stuff. So now, we have this. The buffs for Unite moves are now split. So the way that it used to go is every Pokemon got this stat package when they Unite for 8 seconds. 80% movement speed, 35% attack speed, 20% cooldown reduction, 30% shield. Did not matter which Pokemon you were, that is what you got. Well, now, everyone's only lasts for 6 seconds, and they have changed around. So let me go and adjust the screen setting. Some Pokemon getting individual changes, other Pokemon just like group getting changes. But as you can see, they've lost a lot of stuff. So Trevenant, down to 30% bonus movement speed, 20% max health shield. Charizard, 50% movement speed, 20% shield. So everyone loses 2 seconds on the duration and 10% max hit points on the shield. So everyone's just going to be weaker after Unite moshing. And then no more cooldown, no more attack speed. That's crazy for the Charizard, since its whole thing is attack speed. But then some Pokemon not really caring about the cooldown reduction, because Pokemon like Cramorant usually not getting a lot of Unite moves off, or not Unite moves, basic abilities off with the Unite buff. And then same thing for like some other Pokemon that are channeling. So Pikachu also going to have 30% max hit points, so keeping that shield. 30% cooldown reduction, actually a buff, but then less movement speed, no attack speed. So, interesting little buff to Pikachu. Pikachu actually just kind of falling off super hard in the late game. I think that is very needed. So actually some Pokemon feeling like a little bit of a buff in this case. Zeraora, 20% max hit points. Movement speed's only 30%, so everyone's slower. It's not like everyone breaks out their Unite moves and people are zooming around and things get crazy. Less attack speed, still a little bit of cooldown reduction, but effectively just kind of taking a flat hit on all the stats, and then trying to perform alright. Gengar, Absolute Talonflame. So, no attack speed, no cooldown reduction, retains the Speedster 80% movement speed, and then has a smaller shield. As for some of the other Pokemon, we can now see like big stat package breakdown. Mr. Mime, Garchomp, Eldegoss, Cramorant, and Decidueye. So again, these are like channeling Unite moves, where yeah, even though Cramorant can like cancel it early and then try to like go for a quick Hurricane, Surf, and then get some of those cooldowns back, don't really feel it. Same thing on the attacks, where like Decidueye really wants that attack speed. Garchomp really wants the attack speed after channel. Doesn't have any more, also is a lot slower. Now, Garchomp doesn't really, like, feel the movement speed, because it feels like his movement is baked into the ability. So we're going to see what that does to the Unite move. And then, less speed means, like, Mr. Mime actually getting a significant nerf, because he's not just zooming around, locking down everyone in a fight. I'm hoping for an X-Speed nerf, because X-Speed kind of becoming like slow smoke meta, but reverse, where now everyone's just like too fast and getting away from too many fights and having too much safety. Keeping the 30% max health shield, so we're going to see like what these little advantages mean in team fights and against other Pokemon, where it's like, well, I have 10% max hit points, don't have movement speed, but neither do you, and everything's kind of weird. Tanks going up to 40% max hit points, but losing valuable cooldowns because they also want to be casting and locking people down. However, Mamoswine, this seems like a straight buff because you are mostly like going to be channeling through that, and it kind of gets weird because like you use your abilities, then you unite, and then by the time your unite is done, your abilities are back up. So maybe if like in that last couple of seconds of the 8 seconds, you get the 20%, it doesn't matter. So Mamoswine feeling good from this. Other Pokemon just going to be more fat and finding some weird stuff. So Glaceon, Azumarill, Duraludon, Aegislash, Dragonite, Tsareena, Cinderace, Greninja, 80 carries, keeping the attack speed, less health on the shield, no cooldown reduction, less movement speed. And then we have the casters getting that cooldown reduction bump to 30%. So yeah, weird, like Cramorant. Cramorant's the new Irelia. Better nerf Cramorant. Just nerf Cramorant. Alright, better nerf Cramorant. Stupid. Shield for 20%, so not as fat. Makes sense. You're a caster, should have some squishiness, but you get a couple more abilities off, and then you have the same movement speed as everyone else, no bonus attack speed, which honestly, Ninetales is going to feel that. Ninetales really wants to unite, set up in that Aurora Veil, and then super zoom and super attack people, while also getting all the cooldown reduction and fun stuff like that. So that's not going to be the end of it, because we also have some just straight up balance. They might not be complete, so if you see your favorite Pokemon not getting buffed, or a Pokemon you hate not getting nerfed, it might not be the end of the story. So Cramorant, Air Slash getting nerfed, 1 second added on the cooldown. Dive Air Slash is the worst moveset. If you pick it, you grief, you suck, you don't understand how the game works, it's bad, it's troll. So it getting nerfed is honestly a good thing, since it will disincentivize that. And that means if Surf Hurricane, which is the higher skill cap, continues to underperform because a lot of Pokemon Unite player base is just terrible, then maybe we'll finally see those buffs. Machamp, seeing some buffs as well. So this is where things kind of get weird. Little bit of tuning, submission on less of a cooldown, but then less movement speed. Honestly, I don't feel like you're going submission on cooldown, because what happens is you run into people, you yoink, and then you just commit to the fight, and then you're probably getting KO'd or you just wipe. So I don't know if you're ever going to be feeling like a second submission in a fight, which means it could just be a flat nerf, which is weird because it seems like they're trying to bring people into submission since Dynamic Punch has taken over, but because of the Crit Rune nerf, Machamp might just kind of fall out in general. Wigglytuff getting buffs, and these are significant buffs, because the reason why I rate Wigglytuff so low in my tier lists is because it doesn't exist as a Pokemon once you hit the later stages of the game. It just completely falls off. The Unite move is good, but now that we're not Buddy Barrier stacking and moshing anymore, it just doesn't do anything. Even like as you go into like 6-7 minutes, like once everyone has their Unites, Wigglytuff just does nothing. And the big thing is the lack of damage. When everyone else is bursting people out, Wigglytuff's damage goes from really high to falls off. So like stronger early slappage on the Wigglytuff. That's cool. And then a little bit of special attack, extra damage per level, and then extra flat damage. Also less cooldown. If you're resetting cooldowns properly with rollout, then I don't think the cooldown reduction does much, but it also just kind of feels good that you are going to be hurting. Tsareena getting nerfs. Yes, you love to see it. This Pokemon is ridiculous. So, Stomp, a little bit extra cooldown. I guess that matters in between like Queenly Majesty. Less damage, less scaling, less everything. Same thing on the buffed Stomp, so it's just not going to be able to do crazy too much damage. No nerf to the healing observed, which means that it's still going to have like that crazy sustain inside of fights. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be rolling as hard, and that's a good thing. Next up, we have Dragonite. So Dragonite's getting some changes. Little weird to break down because like empowered basic attack, boosting, and then doing like bonus damage on the Dratini. Damage cap on mobs and bosses removed. Boosted attack doesn't recover anymore. So they kind of tuned it around. I guess this is for jungle clear, to where your jungling is going to be better since you don't have the damage cap on Dratini, but that doesn't make sense because I don't think the Pokemon health mattered too much. And then Dragonite, Also going to be dealing additional damage to 5% of enemies' remaining hit points, capped at 600 damage compared to the 10%, and then Dragon Dance getting nerfed. I think this is because of the Crit Emblems, or not Crit Emblems, cooldown emblems, that it was possible that if you went like full cooldown that you don't even have to auto attack to then stack up your Dragon Dances, and then you could just kind of like keep it up perma. And also maybe just Dragonite's overperforming and it's getting away too fast, too much anyways. Also, after uniting, Dragonite not going to have that cooldown reduction anymore, so it's not going to be as slippery, and that's a good thing, as well as a 5% damage nerf on basic attacks. Solid. Also, because the Dragonite stuff sounded weird, I think it's actually calling out the type of attack. So it's not like, oh, Dragonite's is going to be different. No, the fire attack is going to be the additional damage is 5% of the remaining hit points, and then capped at 600 damage against wild Pokemon. So less of a nuke right there, but it looks like that cap is removed. I don't know. It's kind of weird, and that's just like datamine shenanigans. So deals damage, cap removed, boost attack doesn't recover anymore. But I don't think the boosted water attack did that. Actually, no, like Dratini just kind of has just basic boost. It's kind of weird. People in the comments are going to get mad at me for not like fully comprehending it, but whatever. Buzzwole getting interesting buffs. Cooldown reduction on the leech life. It's going to be 1 second sooner, so that's pretty nice. But the big thing is that all of your, well, not all of your abilities, but they are going to make it to where the Smackdown has an extra muscle gauge increment when used, and I think that's pretty big. Smackdown felt like it was underperforming because you don't stack as much, you don't get as crazy damage even for like rewarding Smackdowns. So I think Buzzwole definitely needs more buffs to not be like completely vulnerable, mostly just like damage against wild Pokemon or something, because it can't clear or take anything. It feels more like a liability in the jungle, and there's just better Pokemon in pretty much every aspect of the game for its roles. And then Tyranitar, getting some interesting changes right here. So Stone Edge getting nerfed, less damage, longer cooldown. Ancient Power getting buffed, less cooldown, more damage, better shield, or not more damage, just better shield in general. Sand Tomb getting nerfed, fun stuff like that. I haven't played anything on Tyranitar patch, so I don't know what this means, but I'm guessing it's stuff which is kind of like Stone Edge, Sand Tomb, so the rock type moveset was probably overperforming. Blissey, Soft Boiled getting nerfed. That is significant because of weird developments in Blissey. Now, I caught on to this pretty early on, like closer to when Blissey first got released, and it seems like now it's really coming in because of the charge buffs on the double egg moveset. But Blissey is all special attack scaling, that you don't get anything on your healing from levels, it's all special attacks. So like the idea behind a Wise Glasses or going for some score stacking is actually going to have major returns. If you get over 100 special attack from using score specs, now you're just healing 200 more, but you're also getting the ticks, so you're healing an insane amount. You're getting like 500 extra health per soft boiled just off of the amount of raw special attack you're getting, and that's comboing into like the bonuses from Wise Glasses as well as like the green special attack. Now that's like giga mattering, and that's making everything that Blissey is attached to mega unkillable. So less special attack scaling, still a significant amount though. Like 240% means if you do find the extra like stats into it, it's still going to be pretty significant. But then also less flat, so if Blissey doesn't snowball, you're feeling a lot less, and yeah, just less base, so more opportunity to KO the thing that Blissey is supporting. And I don't know like how all these nerfs and stuff to the Unites are going to change things that just make Blissey more vulnerable to where you try to blow out the Blissey. I don't know, like in games like League of Legends, you have Soraka. Soraka is super easy, squishy, KO it. Now they don't have anything, dive it, boom, GG, easy. But since Blissey heals itself and its target, and is just a fat amount of hit points and also has like weird stats and stuff, it's hard to burst out, even though it's the dedicated heal bot. So do you just kind of take out the thing it's trying to support, which is generally going to be like a Cinderace or something that's super squishy, but also if it's a Dragonite, Dragonite tends to have a little bit of bulk in there. So I still haven't like cracked the code on that, because sometimes it feels like You can't KO the thing that Blissey is supporting, and other times, sometimes just blow out Blissey, and then game's over. Done. You win. 4v5. Now the thing that's been relying on Blissey is also, like, super frail. 3v5, you win. That's what it's looking like right now. Overall, game's going in a good direction, which is the trend for a lot of the patches. I feel like these little nerfs changes, I don't think they matter too much. The Tsareena one's cool. Wigglytuff getting some relevance is nice. Also might not be complete, hopefully. Much like when we saw like Buddy Bearer nerf and Score Shield nerfs and like a lot of other changes in the game, the cascading effects of the Unite move nerfs, it's going to take some time. I can't really predict it until I feel what everyone having 30% movement speed is like, and then 10% less health. But then, like, everyone uses their Unite moves, you're just dealing with, like, half a Pokemon less for, like, cooldowns and stuff. I don't know. Does that make fights... it feels like fights are already, like, super gone over and bursty, but is that because of the 35% attack speed and the cooldown reduction, and also the crazy movement speed for, like, the quicker collapse? Because, like, it just turns on game over. Also, it's only lasting for 6 seconds. One thing I've also been big on with Pokemon Unite is, like, properly fighting and actually spacing out team fights. The way that Pokemon Unite tends to play out is like a children's game, and like, with people that don't have any discipline or understanding of, like, MOBA mechanics and tactics and spacing in team fights and setting up and prepping a fight. No. One person uses their Unite move, and then everyone else just flips the switch, and you just pile in, and whoever lives, they take Zapdos and wins. So, with the 6 seconds, like, hey, how about, you know, they blew their Unite move. We can, and it's only 30% movement speed, so you can actually fall back. You can kite it out. You can bait a Unite, like you bait an Ultimate at Baron Pit in League of Legends, and then that's going to change the next 30 seconds of team fighting substantially, especially if it is the game-winning objective. So... there could be a lot of that, and then it's also like, yo, Hoopa just united. Why are you inting into the Hoopa, and then their team is just going to show up, and that, great, you just ran into Hoopa who had 5 people show up on their team. Instead of just kind of like waiting it out, they weren't threatening any takes on anything. Awesome. So now it's like, oh yeah, with all this happening, back it off. Now one thing we need to see, Hoopa nerfs, please. Just remove that Pokemon from any kind of competitive, and then the game's balanced. League of Legends hasn't been able to make teleport work for like the last 7 years, and then they make the teleport team fight ultimate Pokemon that then gets so many stats, it's absurd. So yeah, just break the game, why don't you? Really, that's the only thing I hate. I hate Hoopa more than Zapdos. I'll say it. And then all this other stuff's looking good. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.